okay? And they can definitely help you identify your fears, all right? And so the next thing I want to ask you is a very important question. Are you listening? Hey, yes, sis, listen. Whose love are you craving? Whose love do you feel like you deserve and you don't have? Whose love was not to your expectations? Who dropped you? Who shoulda and they didn't? Who is that? Was it your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife? Who was it? That's important. Write that down in your workbook. Okay? Because that helps you identify your fears. All right? Let me just tell you a little bit about myself really quickly. When I was a child, I was born into a family where I was the outside child, right? And if you don't know what that means, then let me break it down to you. My mother already had a child with someone. She already had a baby daddy. And then she left him, or whoever left who, I don't know. And then she got with my daddy. And then I came. And then she went back to her baby daddy. Now, I was the outside child. Did my mother love me? I'm sure. Did my parents care? But one thing that I am for sure about is that I was abused. And I was abused from my mother and my father, right? And so I grew up feeling out of place. I grew up feeling abused. I grew up feeling unworthy. I grew up feeling like, well, hell, if my mama don't love me, who can? Who does? So regardless of how pretty people told me I was and how many accolades I got in school and academics and in sports and in other things that I accomplished, I was living my life for accomplishments. But really I was living my life looking for the love that I didn't get. And so what I want to tell you and encourage you is that once you identify your 6 human needs and you can really, really be honest about your fear, honest about whose love you crave, honest about what hurts you, sis, you can get free. Because I spent so many years of my life beating myself up, trying to get my mother to love me, trying to get her to admit, trying to get her to apologize. It was a waste of time. What I needed to do was identify where I was and take responsibility for that, take responsibility for my fear, and make it work for me. Why? Because fear is necessary. Fear brings out your courage. Fear brings out your bravery. Fear brings out the best in you. And so this obstacle that I call my life, that I kept praying, God, why me, was an obstacle to train me so that I could accomplish being able to see myself, see my fears, identify them, face them, and slay them, just so that I could coach you about it. And if I had to do it again, I'd do it again. Just for this, just to be here with you. And so let me just say that a lot of us have these fears. And once we identify that fear, write it in your notebook. And then what I want you to do is go on and talk about your ideal solutions. And what I mean by that is you're pretty smart. You're probably some kind of coach, some kind of global leader, some kind of manager or supervisor. You're in a leadership position. And so you have solutions. That's why people come to you, because you answer questions. And so I want you to answer this question for yourself, as if someone else was asking you. If I was afraid of, what would I do? And so in that space, I want you to write down what it is you're afraid of. And someone came to ask you and they would say, hey, barista, if I was afraid of not being loved, what should I do, right? And that's just my example of me and my little funny voice. But you do it. If I was afraid of, what would I do? And I want you to give yourself an ideal solution. I want you to write that down. And when I mean ideal, I don't mean that it's really realistic. I'm just saying ideal means that it may or may not be realistic, but it's just something that, like, okay, in a perfect world, this is what I would do. Okay? And so I want you to write down your own advice about what you would do if you were in fact afraid or fearful of that thing. All right? So that's what I want you to do. The next thing I want you to do, let's keep moving, because this is a place where you're getting your assignments. on how to move past that, on how to get to where you need to go, on how to get to your destiny. So the third thing I want you to do is write down 3 scriptures that motivate you or 3 motivational memes, right? I'm not here to try to impress upon you what you should believe, what you should not believe. But what I am saying is that you are going to need someone else's words other than your own to put in your mind. Why? Because every single thought is an opportunity for fear. And so I need you to give yourself some concrete thoughts. And so get 3 scriptures or 3 motivational memes, and I want you to write them down. I want you to take screenshots of them. I want them to be everywhere in your life for this time, okay? And so the next thing I want you to do is I want you to write down one thing that if you changed it, it would make the biggest difference towards your success. One thing. I know a lot of times in life we're like, okay, if my bills was paid, my stomach was flat, my husband would act right, or at least I had a husband, what? My hair would grow. I would, like, okay, our lists are too long, okay? But I want you to list one thing that if it changed would make the biggest difference towards your success. Now I know that you're like, okay, let me think about it. Okay, don't think too long. You're wasting time. Just pick one thing. One thing. Write it in your workbook. Write it in your workbook. Okay? Now, the next thing that I want you to do is I have a list of things that I want you to do for your to get to your next level, right? And so every single day we're going to have these assignments. All right? And these assignments are things that I want you to complete. Whether it's every day or whether it's every week or whether it's every month, whichever program you chose, I want you to complete these assignments. Why? Because this is how you train yourself. I am simply just coaching you to train yourself. I have no desire for you to be tied to me for your ability to get past these things. I want you to be so self-sufficient that you're able to turn around and take these questions, answer them for yourself, become so enlightened about who you are, and where it is that you're going, that you will be able to turn around and then teach someone else, right? And so that is what we're doing here. I'm coaching you to train yourself, all right? And so these are the things that I did, and I'm not trying to make you me, because you could never be me. But what I am trying to do is give you the keys to the enlightening that I needed to be able to let go of my past, identify my fears, face them, and slay them. And so by the end of this program, you will be at the next level. You will be moving on to what it is that you feel like you're called to do. And you will be happy, you will be loving yourself, and you will be successful. And that is the goal. And so thank you so much for coming and joining today. Hit me up on DM, inbox me, send me an email. I'm definitely available for you. I, Slay, exist for you, sis. What I've been able to learn and what I've been able to heal in myself and what I've been able to accomplish by moving forward has to be shared. And so I'm so happy to share with you. I'm so happy. Why? Because there are so many women that feel like nobody wants to help them. Nobody wants to support them. Nobody really wants to keep it real with them. Nobody can be trusted. And this is a trusting, non-judgment zone from a woman who's done everything from A to Z that I should not have. And so I have I ain't got no right to be judging nobody. And I also love you. I do this because I love you. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you blow it out the water. I want to see you where you are supposed to be. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow on day 2.